Hello, viewers. Hopefully, I am audible and visible. Hello, once again. So, I am live on YouTube and I am getting a message that the transmission is weak due to transmission is unstable due to a weak network connection. This is the story of every single week. During this weekly live session on YouTube, I talk about the videos that I have uploaded throughout the week. This last week, I uploaded only two videos. One was on a book called The Idiot by Dostoevsky, and the other one talked about how I had prepared for MRCS Part A. If you have been following my channel, then you know that MRCS ENT consists of two exams. One is MRCS Part A and the other is MRCS ENT OSCE. However, MRCS ENT OSCE will cease to exist beyond February of 2026. It will be replaced by MRCS Part B. Now, MRCS Part A is an exam which I struggled to pass, but I managed to pass in my first attempt. It is an exam which is a multiple choice question exam, and its syllabus is largely general surgery with basic sciences and a little bit of orthopedics. So, general surgery, anatomy, physiology, pathology, microbiology, a little bit of legal and management issues pertaining to practice of medicine in the UK, and of course orthopedics and a little bit of ENT. So I had prepared for this exam without any general surgery experience, without any coaching, and mostly what I had done is I had relied on two online resources, EMRCS and Past Test. These are resources which provided practice questions, mock tests and explanations. Past Test also had a unique advantage of providing anatomy dissection videos, and these proved to be of invaluable help. So all I did was I used to set myself a target of at least 50 multiple choice questions daily, and I would get into a habit of solving them every day, and I would read the explanations, especially for those questions which I got wrong, and I would keep a track of the questions I was getting wrong. In fact, the questions I was getting wrong were of greater help because I knew that these are the questions I needed to watch out for on the day of the exam. So I was able to pass MRCS Part A in a single attempt, and I was very happy about that. But MRCS Part A remains a very difficult exam. I do acknowledge that. The second video I talked about The Idiot. This is the book The Idiot by Fyodor Dostoevsky. It's a fascinating book. Now, I have read three books, including this one by Dostoevsky. The first book I read was titled The Brothers Karamazov. Then I read Crime and Punishment, and I have now read The Idiot by Dostoevsky. Now, The Idiot, I believe, of the three books that I have read, The Idiot is more or less conventional because it talks about conventional themes like love, like how to impress someone, what does a person look for in their husband or in their spouse. All of these things are fairly ordinary themes, but they are dealt with in an extraordinary fashion. Okay, if you distill the essence of the story, you will be thinking of one guy who is aspiring to get married to a person and the complexities surrounding that. While that is a very oversimplified version of the story, in The Idiot, it is dealt with such finesse that you really can't stop reading about it, and you can't stop thinking about it once you've finished reading the book. It's a magnificent story, quintessentially Russian. The one of the comments that I had come across when I talked about Dostoevsky on this channel is, once you've read Dostoevsky, you want to find out more and more about Russia. And that is true because his stories have references to Russian history, to Russian literary history. He talks about other prominent figures in Russian literature like Gogol and Pushkin, who is mentioned in all three of his books. It also talks about the contemporary Russian society, the role of religion, which he always talks about because perhaps Dostoevsky himself was a very religious person. And he also talks about the changes that were happening, how monarchy was changing into, there was revolution in the air. All of these things he has hinted towards. And remember Dostoevsky's books were published in the 19th century, well before the communist revolution. But while reading the book, you can sense that there is something brewing in the air. You can get transported to that era and feel that people living in that era did anticipate that something like the revolution that happened in 1917 was quite likely. Now, the thing I like most about The Idiot is it is very even handed with its characters. If a certain character, no character sort of behaves in a manner in which you would not expect them to behave. They are introduced in great detail, their mindset is explained. When it is not possible to explain the mindset, the author actually surrenders to the reader and says that it is not possible for me to explain why this character is behaving in this manner. I can only tell you the facts and you can decipher his mentality on your own. But every character sort of behaves according to what you expect them to behave. If a certain character is unpredictable, they remain unpredictable till the end. If a certain character is good, they remain good till the end. And even people who seem to be the scheming type, they also why they have become scheming, that is also explained in great detail. So it makes you root for even not so prominent characters like a young boy who has consumption. Consumption is a theme in Dostoevsky's novels. Consumption, of course, is the term that was used for tuberculosis. Consumption or tuberculosis in that era was largely a fatal disease because doctors did not have any treatment for tuberculosis in 19th century. The therapy for tuberculosis largely came into existence in the 1950s, so the middle of the 20th century. This is the 19th century, so all doctors could do is advocate a change to a warmer climate or to eat better, exercise more, all of that. If you ask me what is the one quality about Dostoevsky's books that I really like, is that he is not afraid to digress. Okay, it's not just about tightness of the story, about how fast the story is moving ahead. Even when you've reached the end of the book, you feel like there is so much more story to tell. Maybe that is a flaw, but his books are so amazing that you want to read about the digressions almost with as much interest as you want to read about the main characters, the main progress of the progress of the main plot. So it's something I highly recommend. And so I've read 3 books by Dostoevsky. I've read The Brothers Karamazov, Crime and Punishment, and I've read The Idiot, and I strongly recommend all 3 of them. I'm now reading The Devils. This is also by Dostoevsky, and I've also come across a criticism of my videos on this channel where people have criticized that I only talk in English. I only talk in English because this is a language which I am comfortable speaking in, and I do have viewers from outside India, especially from Nigeria. Hello to them. And I feel if I don't talk in English, I will lose out on being understood easily. And this reminds me of ideally speaking, I would make these videos without any language, because this reminds me of a quote by Charlie Chaplin, and I can't quote him accurately, so I'll just paraphrase. When Charlie Chaplin was one of the greatest movie stars of the 20th century, in fact, he was probably the first major movie star. And when the talkies came into existence in the 30s and 40s, Charlie Chaplin was one of those prominent stars who resisted making talkies because he felt that if he started communicating in English, then he would alienate the non-English speaking audience that he had built up. So many of Charlie Chaplin's fans did not speak English, and Charlie Chaplin was adored the world over because his acting in the silent movie era transcended language barriers. So in that era, talking in English created language barriers because you would not understood by those who don't understand English, which is true for my videos also. People who are not well versed in English probably do struggle in understanding my videos, but I can't make silent videos. I can't communicate that well, and maybe if I had more skills, then I would communicate in other languages as well. So that is something which I have taken under advisement. Maybe in the future I'll make multilingual videos, and if that's possible, I will be the happiest. So I will try to do that, but for the time being I will persist only with English. Thank you for watching this video. Take care. Bye bye.